Chelsea are pushing for a massive £1.5 billion bridge rebuild. That's what the headline is saying. Stamford Bridge, we know this has kind of been a long time coming, John. The stadium rebuild is in a really expensive part of London. They've got a lot to battle with. How long do you think this is going to take to actually go through with it at Stamford Bridge?
Oh, so long. I actually did a story in January about when they were first meeting with fan groups. And frankly, it felt already then that they were sort of kind of well into the process. Don't forget that kind of Todd Bohely and his consortium made a pledge that when they took over to rebuild the stadium, to redevelop it and bring it up to speed. That was one of their financial undertakings, and to do that, fair play to Chelsea. They have been consulting with fans. This week they announced a sort of a fan board, so fans would actually have a say at board level. And frankly, they've been sounding out fans for quite some time. And within those meetings, I was told at the time that they'd moved to Wembley for 5 years if they took the kind of the nuclear option, which was to completely knock down Wembley and rebuild, and to actually clear the whole space at Stamford Bridge would take 18 months alone just to clear it, to knock it down and clear it. And during that time, they'd have to play at Wembley. Look, there are alternatives. They could move away, or they could do it stand by stand, which I'm told would actually take even but potentially even longer. Other clubs have done that, haven't they? But I do think that probably the favoured option out of those meetings, I was told, and I think the sort of Telegraph heard the same, that basically would be to remain at Stamford Bridge, remain at their spiritual home and rebuild. But make no mistake about it, because of the complex nature of where they are, the stadium at the moment backs onto public transport and train lines. It would, without a shadow of a doubt, be the most expensive by far, dwarf Tottenham's £1 billion stadium at White Hart Lane, just the sheer expense. And they'd probably have to dig down before they could actually dig up, so sort of build up rather, to expand the capacity. So it's a huge project and undertaking. And we think about the problems that Chelsea have got on the pitch at the moment. Well, they've got a huge, issue in actually sort of kind of the whole soul of the club coming up.
Exactly, John. But Jonathan, also, this will be a key area of improvement that Todd Boehly will be keen to implement, obviously, ever since he's taken over. But will this take Chelsea to the next level, and how much do they need this as a club?
Yeah, well, it's been the holy grail for the club for maybe 2 decades since Roman Abramovich took over. That Chelsea is a huge club that has quite probably outgrown whatever it is, the capacity of Stamford Bridge, 44,000 or whatever it is. And Todd Boehly has history with this. When his Guggenheim firm took over the LA Dodgers about 10 or 11 years ago, they invested huge amounts of money in redeveloping Dodger Stadium, buying up land around it, investing hundreds of millions of dollars in making it kind of a modern sporting stadium. The problem is, of course, that it is not remotely going to be as easy with Stamford Bridge, which is in a very built-up area. It is surrounded by public transport. There's a rail line, there's housing nearby. It will be extremely expensive and extremely time-consuming. It's not like the Dodger Stadium, which it's slightly out of LA, and there was a lot of land around it that they could simply be purchased up. Boehly is an ambitious guy. We know that, and it's an easy ambition to state as an owner that you're going to redevelop the stadium, because it's very clearly what needs to be done. But if Abramovich couldn't do it in 2 decades, it's interesting to see how the new owners are going to manage this project.